what steps are, mistakes. Every single one is a mistake. Every step you're taking down that path, it's either a mistake you're making or a mistake you're correcting. Every step. And every mistake you make and every mistake you correct, them steps will get higher. Do you understand? It's all about learning. If you're full of substances, you're not going to learn off your mistakes for a long time. Trust me, like, you know you're making mistakes, but you're not learning from them. It's different from knowing you're making mistakes and learning. If you're up on the pot, on a mad one, on the yayo, and all, doing mad things, you know you're up, but you're not learning off it, you're continuing to do it. Half of you get on that cycle like we did. Nicked, jail, know you're up, not learning from it, back out, nicked, jail, again, know you're up, not learning from it, back out. Instead of learning from it, you try and learn ways of avoiding getting nicked. Does that make sense? So like when we go to jail, you're meant to learn off the jail not to commit crime again. But it sets off a mad like psyche. Instead of learning not to commit crime again, you start learning how to avoid being nicked for crime again. So instead of learning to stop committing crime, you're avoiding the laws that make you commit crime. That's what it does to you. That's what it does to you, lad. It just makes you more efficient. Depending on what setting you went into. You've got kids now, they've been, like, you got kids who were 16, sharing prison education blocks with men who were 35 who were in for tons of drugs. Most jails now, like private prisons, they were the ones that made it easier for all this madness to kick in, to be honest with you. It's part of the process, isn't it? You know, they used to have us all segregated, then private prisons kicked in, all of a sudden you had a man's prison with 2 units for white peas. And then to make it fair in PE, they'd have the white peas playing football with the cons. And this is integration here with young criminals who haven't got a clue, and experienced, educated criminals, half of them shirt-lifters who know exactly what they're doing. Honest to God. So I was in Old Course years ago when they first opened Old Course, and Willie Moore was in there this time when we first landed in the Queen Gaff. Willie Moore was on the other side, in there for swag. And there was a few other lads in there. One was called Mark Watts and one was called Orville. Mark Watts, Orville. And there was another kid called, who was in for copping for that Charlie Sager. What was his name? He was a punter. So we're in. So we've landed, me and Danny. We've landed on the wing. Willie Moore's aware of us. I can't remember at what stage this is. I don't know whether I'd already met him. No, he hadn't. I'd already met him round Tommy's, but he hadn't been. I'd seen him round by Tommy's at this point, but he hadn't been at Tommy's at this point. Anyway, 1998 was it? Tallulah. I don't know. My ears are all mixed up. That's why people think, oh, he's chatting because... But my ears are just all over. I've got that many experiences and situations with mad people in my life. So these kids were in for this Charlie Sager kidnapping, and Willie Moore and that were trying to get them. Because if I remember correctly, the kids that caught for Charlie Sager then made allegations against someone, and they were trying to get them, you know, the charges dropped or something. And on the wing at this time, we've got some serious kids on the wing. Danny's on the opposite wing. Then again, Danny's in the segregation unit. I'm on melon blue, I think, or melon brown. And you've got me and Michael Clay. Do you know anyone know Michael Clay from Kensington? Monkey. He went on to kill me little mate, conspired to kill me mate with fire and that, years later. Little bear he killed years later. Mad. He was on the wing. Tony Richo was on the wing. Who else was on the wing? There was Sean Battle, Skinny. He was on the wing. There was like a squad of us, all Scousers on the YP wing. And this Belwith, this oval. Oh. I can picture him now. Can't really talk about what happened to him. Well anyway, back in the day, them private prisons, mate, you had 4 hours or something before they can count and realise something's wrong. This is what years ago. Now they do like every hour you'll have a little count, or 2 hours they'll have a little count. Years ago, mate, you had all afternoon to do what you wanted to anyone. And it just happened to be awful. Nightmare, didn't it? I don't even know why they called him Orville. I think that was his name. Orville from Canny Farm. Was it Canny Farm? But he was a knobhead. Him and his mate, Mark. So, me and Tony Richo, it was actually. I'm sure it was Tony. Was it Tony? Yeah, it was Tony. Anyway, something had gone on and something had happened, and you know, Willie Moore had been to the window, mentioned something. And because back then there was no animosity there, and Willie was like a bit of an head, and rah rah rah, and Tommy and blah blah blah. Alright, I'll get it sorted. So we've had to go in on, went on, it's awful. It's gone in a cell. It's a double cell, not a side by side one. It's like a double. If you know what prison, like, you got a bunk bed. In all course, you know what it's like. And we just went to work on him. And all we've had is, you know them bandages, like your tuba grips. Tuba grips. That's all we had, to wrap them up with tuba grips. We've wrapped them up, don't get your twist. Left them in a mess, mate. Don't even know how we wear cars or nothing. It's weird. I don't even know why I've just told you that story. There was another occasion when you had some helmet from Wales bullying everyone on the wing. He was bullying all kids on the wing. And we've only just landed. I've been to jail before, innit? But I've only just landed here on this second one. And you've got this taffy putting the all sorts. Because what it's like in the YPs, right? This is what it used to be like in the YPs. If you were big, you ran the wing if you had a little bit of heart in you. That's what it was like. If you were a bit of a big kid and you had a bit of heart in you, you ran the wing. So when I've got on here, you've got all from Scousers terrified of some taffy. And he's on helmet. But you needed a weapon to deal with it. Do you understand what I mean? I made a cunt of him. The screws were looking at me thinking, wow, this kid's off his barney. So I've coffered the kid in the cell, made him strip, had the snooker cue in half, weighing him in with it. Got him out to cell, this is while everyone's out on association. No, this is the bully of the wing, people, don't get in a twist. I've just went in the cell on him, he's taxing kids and that, so I'm not having this. Right in there, started dealing with him, got him stripped off, made him march out of his pad. Right outside the cell you had a pool table. I've got him on that dancing. Honest to God, I've got him on it dancing, doing squats, bare peas in his knack. The screws are going down and stop it. I'm going, stay back. All the kids are on the line going, hey. Launch at him, you know, the bully. Wait. He was a naughty kid. He wasn't even from Wales. He was from, his name was Nelson. And he was in for an horrendous murder. This is why everyone was shook of him. Nelson, where was he from? Like, schizo off his party. He had to get dealt with like that. Do you understand what I'm saying? He was a madman. He shouldn't have even... They had life as on remand on the wing with his mates. It was scatty. He was off his party. His name was Nelson. Where was he from? I'm trying to think where he was from, because he's from like a little mad gaff and he just went frenzied on someone. Nelson, I don't know where, I can't remember where he was from. He used to say in Cardiff. Seen him years later, like, remember that time, Darren? Jail made him drunk or something, you know what I mean? You know, where he's just off the meds 20 years later, where he hasn't been out. I've been in, out, got me 18. And I've just thought, oh, there's Darren Nelson. He's got tear tattoos down his kite and everything now, scars back to front and all this. I'm just thinking, oh, what's happened, Darren? I haven't seen you since Scouse. Do you remember that? Yeah, mate. We were kids, weren't we, you know? That's what you always do, you know, people. You bump into everyone again. Honest to God. Everyone you have an altercation with, you are guaranteed to see again somewhere. I've seen mad people who I've had confrontations with in prison. And I've seen them in like North Wales Zoo. You know, the Welsh Zoo. You see them there and that. Alright, Darren, lad. Thinking, wow. Number one's in. BS is kicked in. Jail shit though. I know I'm laughing about it and all this, but this is just when you're looking back, reminiscing about your childhood, isn't it? Trust me. And that's how bad it was back then. You should see what it's like now. They've just done a report on that strange way. I've been screaming for 3 or 4 years. How has that got its Cat A status, that jail? How has that jail still got its Cat A status when you've had people like Thomas Cashman and other notorious gangsters from right round the country being proven to intimidate witnesses from within the cells on mobile phones off the Cat A unit? How have they still got that status, mate? Do you understand what I mean? So it's being classed as the worst for violence in the whole of the country. I think I said Europe, to be honest. It's the worst for drugs, it's the worst for rats. It's always been like that. I don't know how it's worse for rats than Walton. I think that's a bit of bullshit. But it might be now. I remember when I was on the lifers wing in that strange ways, and you could look out on the yard of a night and trust me, mate, there was straighteners going on with rats. Honest to God. They were like splinters, some of them. Like little cats. How are you, Charlie? Jail is absolutely poo. And anyone that's sitting in it now will tell you, it doesn't matter if they drop a 2-minute TikTok video, when that phone's going back up their backside. It's honest to God. Banging iPhones and up there, lad, it's crazy. They'll all tell you, mate, it's poo. Pure waste of time, but it's part of the culture now. It's part of, you know, it's a culture that now. Going to jail as a kid's not a bad thing for you now. It's a bit of a thing for you now. Some of them go in there thinking they're going to be the next Mazza and that, don't they? Yes, Marky B. Or the next McCann. Or the next Mist. Just had a multitude of jailbirds smashing the charts and getting pushed out there by these... whoever they are, encouraging the kids. That it's sweet, isn't it? How many artists that have made it from prison? Think that's just luck? Think it's coincidental? Come on. Do you know how hard it is to tap into the music industry? Doesn't matter if you go viral, you're made to go viral. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's solid to do something like that off the streets. You're telling me nearly double figures can do it from in prison? It's all about influencing the kids. It's part of the culture now. It's part of that drill movement. It's part of that gang life. And as I say, mate, some of these gangs are depending on where your demographic is in the country. If you're from London, your gang can hold 25 kids in it. When you land in prison, 10 of them kids are on the wing. You land on there, there's not an uncomfortable about you. You've got food thrown at you, you've probably got a phone thrown at you, you've probably got all sorts launched on you, so you're not even feeling the difficulty of prison as a kid. You've just come out of that environment where all your boys was free and landed in this environment where all your boys are locked up. It's normal to you. You're still around your boys, you still got that group mindset, you still got that safety around the boys while you're in prison. Whatever them boys do, you're doing. If they're doing a sit out on the yard, guess what? He's doing that sit out on the yard. If they're moving to that kid down the bottom because he's upset one of the boys on the outside, they're all moving to that kid down the bottom because the mate's upset on the outside. Do you understand? Just the way it is with the kids. It's hard, mate. They don't understand what they're getting mixed into. They say you are what you eat, you are what you listen to. You are what you eat physically. You are what you listen to mentally. Let me tell you that for nothing, mate. There's two aspects to your body, mate. Not just your body, not just your physicality. That makes sense? You are what you listen to, isn't it? So look, if I was sitting here listening to Stephen Yaxley 24/7, how would I sound in 6 months? If I was sat here listening to Martin Luther King for the next year, constantly round the clock, how would I sound in a year's time? If I'm sat here with headphones on from the minute I walk out my ma's front door with drill music and gang banging violence going through my ears from morning to noon, what am I going to be like in 10 years? Exactly. And that's how it's working, mate. You are what you're listening to. If you're listening to a gang of dickheads, you're going to end up like a gang. If you listen to a gang of gangbangers, you're going to become a gangbanger. I've been telling you this for years, mate. On every YouTube channel, it's fashion and music that drives cultures. And most of the time, they come hand in hand. So be careful what the and your kids listen to. Alright, your girl's boss, isn't she? And then you let her listen to Nicki Minaj for a year and a half, and what's she doing and how she dressing? It's right before your eyes. It's right there for you. Isn't it? If you leave your kids to their own devices, what are they going to do? Listen and watch what they want. Simple as that. That's an old saying, that's very relevant now. Leave him to his own devices. It's the same thing with your kids. You just leave them, let them listen what they want, let them watch what they want, and then start wondering why your kids are going a mess. Keep that in your mind, parents. You are what you listen to, basically. And if your kids are listening to, which the majority are, how would you expect them to turn out? Look how your ma's and dads turned out years ago. Look how my ma's, her ma, turned out. Look at the music they were listening to. Buddy Holly, Elvis Presley. Do you understand? Then our ma's and that, what was they listening to? The Monkees, the Bee Gees, Annie Lennox, Tina Turner. Look how they were dressing. Look at the dress sense. They were dressing like Tina Turner. They were getting their hair done like Annie Lennox. Do you understand? Then look at the Mars who were our age. They were all barbified, weren't they? Oh, wanted blonde hair, wanted a pink dress, wanted all this. Do you understand? Look what they've just done to your kids, mate. They brought a film out with Barbie, brought the new dolls out with Barbie, brought music out to go with Barbie. And who was portraying Barbie? Who was portraying all the figures in Barbie? Adults. It's weird, isn't it? Kids' programme, it's full of adults. Why do you reckon that is? Because children look at adults for guidance. And if that adult over there has got your child's attention, guess who's guiding it? It's not you, mate. You know, if your kid sat upstairs listening to some helmet and scream about doing madness on the streets, he's being guided by this helmet that's right in front of his face 24/7, not you sat in the kitchen not giving. It's very important you understand what you're letting go into the kid's mind through images and hearing devices. There's correct words for that, but I'm just off the streets, aren't I? If your little daughter's at 13 listening to Nicki Minaj, guess what? She'll be thingy dropping at the age of 14. Guess what? That's a fact. It's just how it is. You know, if your kid was listening to Celine Dion, she'd be sat in the garden screaming at the top of her voice thinking she's the best singer in the world. If your daughter's listening to Nicki Minaj, guess what she's doing? Rubbing up against that post over there thinking it's a man. She's only 14. So try before your eyes, isn't it? Do you understand what I'm saying to you? I'm no big expert, I'm just giving you my observations and the dynamics of what I believe is going on here. And I haven't just started screaming it, I've been screaming it for years. It is what it is, mate. Protect your children at all costs. Sorry people who've got knobheads in, craving attention, trying to disturb the flow of the conversation. They don't like it when I'm speaking wisdom. Do you understand how wisdom's gained? Do you know what wisdom is? Wisdom's experience. Wisdom is being through crazy situations and surviving in them. Knocking up in them. Every situation you get yourself into is a cup, isn't it? But not letting yourself cup while you're in them situations helps you gather the knowledge, helps you gather the experience, gives you the ability to project the experience and how you've handled it, how you've dealt with it. If you've been in most situations, you can see and watch people in them situations. You can tell them how to get out of that situation, or help them start the process of coming out of them situations. That's what wisdom is. Encouraging people not to cup the way I have in simple maths. And I get hated for it. I don't get hated for that, I don't think. I know what I get hated for. Because I'm special. Now to use that sound like I'm up my own arse, doesn't it? And you're all sitting there going, oh, listen to him. I'm solid in how I feel about myself. I can get very, very upset and want to unlive myself. And I've got a battle for my life. That's how I know special I am. Some of yous won't handle half of one of them battles I go through. Some of yous will. Some of yous have been battling for longer than me. And good on yous for still remaining here. Do you understand what I'm saying? It all builds character, mate. It all builds character. Every one of them battles. But I keep on, you hear people saying, you inspire me. And I correct them straight away. I inspired you. I don't inspire you. I lit the flame. You need to find the wood and keep it burning. And that's the same with anyone out there who believes that they're big inspirational people. They're not creating leaders, they're creating followers. And this is what you need to understand. I'm not there to have you following me. I'm there to help you lead your own life. It's the difference. That's not recognised really. What you'll hear, I mean, you will have heard for a long time, is I light your fire and you continue to keep it burning. That's me encouraging you to lead your own lives. Do you understand? If I wanted you not to, I'll be saying, I inspire you in everything you're doing. Do you understand? And I'll encourage you to keep on me because I'm inspiring you. And it's bullshit, to be honest. It's all bullshit. You've got a lot of people with a lack of confidence, a lack of... there's a lot of men out there that are very insecure. You know, there's a lot of young lads out there that don't know how to approach women and don't know how to deal with women and don't know how to... All that sort of insecurity you get in your teenage years, them elements of confusion that everyone gets. We all get it. You've got people out there preying on that. You know, they know just like I know. Every teenager will go through a certain period in his teenage years where he's confused. You know, majority of them haven't even had contact with a female, and this is making this kid even more confused. And then you've got a lot of conniving, deceitful, manipulative people with all different sorts of agendas latching onto them insecurities for all different means. Most of it's financial, some of it's gratification in mad ways, if you understand where I'm coming from. Nicky Lee saying, love your talks. I'm just going with the flow. I see a comment, latch onto it and roll with it. I've promised myself I'll do 2 hours and then come off. But I'll see how I feel. It's only early, innit? It's not rehearsed as well. I think that's what's a little bit good, isn't it? You don't know what's going to come out with your mouth, do you? You'll all sit there laughing at me, won't you, some nights when I'm just in a mad frame of mind. I know I'm in it. I know I'm being comical. But it's like I can't snap out of it. I've just got to go with the flow until I come out of that personality type of thing. And you know when I've been in that personality for an hour, you know when I've got you all in stitches and I'm just going, I'm in this man, I'm stuck there, you know. And you know when the live gets cut off on me, wow, that does madness with me. Just unsettles me for days. It's weird what happens to me. You know when I'm in that heightened mindset and all of a sudden I'm just cut off mid-process. It's just like, wow, it's weird. Has a mad impact on your mindset, and it's always happening to me, isn't it? So 1 minute you're right up there and the next minute just poof. Everyone you're entertaining's disappeared in a flash, and you just got to try and... So you know when you do it live and you're having a buzz and get serious, you have a buzz and then you wind down and go, yeah, see you tomorrow people, bang, I'm sweet, everything's fantastic, da-da-da-da-da-da. Wake up, everything's sweet. But you know when we're on and we're going and we're all having a scream, someone gets upset because there's loads watching, you just want me shut down. Going from that height, that level of pure adrenaline and whatever's going on with me, to just going, it's like a big on the jaw. It's mad, mate. I don't know how many times I can be able to deal with that. Oh, we've got more helmets, little dirty ones, screaming for a mention. Get out of here. Plastic is... Everything about you's horrendous, mate. Your nose, your eyebrows, your eyelashes, your fake hair, your fake tan. Everything was horrendous about you, girl. Mate. You're like a hamped up version of Kerry Katona. All these little dirts that influenced your kids to be dirts. That's what you ended up like that for, mate. How are you, Sharon? You cool? El Perry's in. That's what it was. You know, look what you let your kids follow and look why they're behaving like that. Look at the music you let your kids and look at the people you were following. Look why they ended up like that. It was hard for them to avoid it though, wasn't it? Let's have it right. You know, it was all part of the process. How are you, Shani? Sarah? Jojo, lad. It was hard for the kids to avoid, weren't it? You know, you had certain amount of people getting paid by the same agencies, same fashion labels, same music industry. All the kids got caught up in it, and you know, you seen the consequences of their actions, didn't you? Yes, Jojo. Choose encounter, stay lucky, always, lad. Leah Benter, it's not even luck, mate. I don't think luck exists, to be honest with you. Everything's worked for, or not worked for. Nothing's luck. Everything's a gamble, but it's not luck, is it? What is luck? Where, you know, what does luck mean? Like, who strikes you lucky? What is it, like a wish to be lucky and you get lucky, or you find a 3-leaf lucky clover or a 4-leaf lucky clover and you get lucky? When you look at people with a nice house, a nice car, and you look at them going, wow, he's lucky him. He's not really lucky, mate. You know, the majority of what they've got there is hard work. A lot of things what people have got, it doesn't matter if it's criminally earned or legally earned. There's a lot of hard work gone in to get that money to buy them things, mate. Standard, none of it's luck. Even if you're in a car crash and you're in a mess but you don't die and people go, you're lucky you, it's nothing luck. It was a crazy mistake, you just survived it. It's not lucky that you were in that crash. It's not lucky that you survived it. Do you understand what I mean? It was just a mistake, a nasty accident, and you survived it. There was no luck involved. You win the lottery, weren't luck. You know, he just gambled, he threw a pound in a pot like millions did, and come out the best. But yeah, we've always used that phrase. I didn't even understand it. Lucky you, lads. When in reality, they're not at all hard work, mate. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to not be out of prison. What makes me lucky? The hard work, the grit, the determination. None of that makes you lucky, mate. That just makes you strong, ready.